I also got Ollie. Ollie got a call about a gardening mystery. The guy that called him was very upset. I said, Ollie, I need someone of your caliber to help me with this problem. I don't understand how they're doing it. I don't understand why they're doing it, but they need to stop, and I need you to stop them. I said, okay. Let's back up a little bit, and why don't you tell me a little bit more what you're talking about? Well, I'm a gardener, okay, and it's like my big thing. My gardens are beautiful. You know, some people bake bread. Some people work on cars. I garden. It's very important to me. I said, okay, got it. You're big into gardening. It's the way you express yourself. What's going on? Someone is, I don't know, messing with me. They're 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 taking out the plants that I plant and replacing them with different plants, and it's driving me insane. I said, yeah, that would be really annoying. Um, yeah. What specifically are you talking about? I have, I've got a lot of great plants, and I've got a lot. But kind of the crown jewel of the front of my garden anyway is my hydrangeas. I said, okay, those are the big. It's like a really big bright flower, right? I said, yes, it's a big bright flower. It comes in a lot of different colors, but I have very specifically chosen the colors here to match the color of my house and all of these things. And the color that really works is this beautiful pink. So I've gotten these pink hydrangeas. And, I haven't always done hydrangeas, but I saw them at a garden festival and I thought that would just be the perfect thing. So they're a new addition this year, and so I got these perfect pink ones. They're wonderful. They look great next to the house, next to the other flowers. And I planted them. And then a few days later, I went out in the morning and they were blue. I said, really? I said, yeah. Someone had come, taken my nice pink hydrangeas, and put in some blue ones. And I don't understand. The blue's okay, but the plants that they put in aren't as healthy either. They've got some spots on them. They're a little sad looking. I don't understand it. And so I went, and I got some more of the pink hydrangeas. And I dug out the blue hydrangeas, and I put in the pink ones. And it was fine for a couple of weeks. And they looked great. I watered them. And then, over the course of I was gone for a weekend, and when I came back, they were blue again. This has happened 4 times now. I've spent so much on these stupid hydrangeas. I said, what are you doing with the other ones? I've planted a couple of them in other places, and I've given some of them away, and a couple of them I just threw away. When you're a gardener, you go through some plants, and I don't know. I've got a decent income. It's not breaking me financially, but it is breaking me mentally. Why would somebody replace my plants with slightly inferior plants of the same basic variety? I said, yeah, that's weird. That's a weird thing to do, for sure. Well, why don't you show me? And so they walked out. And I had seen the flowers when he was going up to the house, but he wanted to get a closer look. Excuse me. So here they're blue. You can see, and some of the leaves are kind of spotty, and the stems are looking kind of woody. I said, I'm not gonna. This is at risk of asking an inopportune question. You're sure they're getting enough water and everything? I said, oh yeah, no, I'm following the recommendation from the garden center about the water, and I checked the soil type, and it's good. I've got it mulched. I'm doing everything right. I'm sure of that. I said, okay. well, I mean, do you have any enemies? And this would have to be somebody that was also a gardener. Do you have like a gardening nemesis? I said, well, I mean, kind of, yeah. I said, okay, tell me about this person. I said, well, she lives, I don't know, 3 blocks up and a couple blocks over, and we were working together on a committee that did the tulips over in the park down the way, over in Guilford. I said, oh, yeah, that's a cool program. I said, it is. And she was in charge of it for a while, and it was starting to kind of come apart. You know, we lost some funding, and the bulb sale at the end didn't really go very well, and it was just a whole thing. And so I came in, and I joined the committee, and I had some ideas, and she didn't like my ideas, but the rest of the committee liked my ideas. So we started doing my ideas, and she really took that personally, and she's been spiteful to me ever since. Eventually she quit the committee entirely, and she says nasty things about me to the neighbors I know, because the neighbors like me better than they like her, and they tell me. And, I don't, some of her people that are really her friends, I'm not invited to their parties anymore. It's the whole thing. I said, yeah, okay. Why don't you give me your name and address, and I'll go take a look and see if I can come up with anything. So he did. Her name was Margaret Shekels. And Ollie went over to the house to see if she had a bunch of blue hydrangeas in her yard that maybe she was moving out of them, or if she had a bunch of pink hydrangeas, would be another suspicious thing. But he went over there, and she didn't have any hydrangeas at all. Her garden was very nice. She had roses were her main thing in her garden. And he was looking at the plants, and suddenly he heard a voice behind her. He said, oh, hello, can I help you? I turned around and said, oh, yeah, oh, sorry, I was just looking at your roses at your garden. It's very pretty. I said, oh, thank you. Yes, I worked very hard on it. My name's Marguerite Shekels. Are you new to the neighborhood? I said, oh, no, this is the person. I said, no, I'm just passing through. I have a client here in the neighborhood that I'm doing some work for. But I heard about your beautiful garden, so I had to come and check it out. I said, oh, well, that's nice. It's so good. Yeah, that just really warms my heart. I'm glad that people in the neighborhood are saying nice things about my garden. That's so sweet. I said, yeah, but, yeah, I noticed you have a lot of roses. Do you ever do... I'm personally a big fan of hydrangeas. Do you ever do hydrangeas? Oh, no, I'm just not a big fan of hydrangeas. I mean, they're great. Don't get me wrong. Especially the lamplight hydrangeas can be so beautiful in the right spot, but they're just not really my style. I like some of these ones with the darker greens, like the roses have, and yeah, they're great plants. I like them, but well, I guess I don't like them. I think they're great plants. They're very pretty, but they're not my style. So I've grown a few hydrangeas over the years, but I don't generally. I said, huh, interesting, okay. Yeah, I guess it would make sense that you'd have certain ones you liked and certain ones didn't. So are roses your favorite? At this point, Ollie was just trying to keep the conversation natural sounding. He said, yes, I love roses. I think irises are actually my absolute favorite, but they're hard to grow around here. I said, okay, well, that's cool. Well, anyway, my name's Ollie, but you probably won't see me around. I don't know that I'll be a regular visitor to this client, but nice to meet you. Thank you for telling me about your garden. I said, sure, come by any time. We do a garden walk in the neighborhood. Hold on a second. I actually, here in my bag, I have a flyer. It's coming right up, so you should come by. So she gave him a flyer, and it was for this garden walk thing. A lot of neighborhoods do that. It's like a tour where you can walk around with a group and look at people's gardens, and the people that grow the gardens will tell you about their plants and stuff. So I said thank you, and then went on his way. I thought, well, okay. She's either a really good pretender, really good actor, and knew that I was a private eye, or she's not involved. And also, she doesn't seem mean enough to go around stealing people's plants, or weird enough to steal people's plants and then replace them with other plants. So I decided to do a stakeout. I went back and said, I wonder if I could impose on you to replace the plants one more time, and I'll do a stakeout. I said, yeah, I can do that. Yeah. I mean, I was going to replace them anyway. So, yeah. I think I'll probably do it this weekend. I'll give you a call as soon as I have them in. I said, all right. And I'll do some research in the meantime. Figure out why somebody would want to steal pink hydrangeas and give you blue hydrangeas. So that Friday, around 2 o'clock, I got a call from the guy. He said, hey, the new hydrangeas are in. They're planted and looking great. Nice pinkish reddish one. It's a deeper red than I had before, but I actually like it. It's working for me. I said, all right, I'll be right over. So Ollie found a spot in the guy's lawn where he couldn't easily be seen, but he could see the hydrangeas and see the activity around the hydrangeas. And it was also comfortable. The guy said, so are you good? Just going to hang out there? I said, yeah, it's a stakeout. It would drive a lot of people nuts. Doesn't bother me. So yeah, I'll let you know what I see. How long did it take last time? He said, well, I mean, sometimes it's happened, they've done it the next day. Sometimes it's been more like a week. I said, all right, well, I'll do a stakeout here tonight. And then if nothing happens, maybe I'll set up a webcam. I said, okay, I trust your professional judgment. So I sat there doing his stakeout. He was listening to some books, like an audiobook, so it wasn't like totally bored. And it didn't see much. Some people walking their dogs. No late night visitors, nobody coming in to steal plants. Really the only thing that I saw was a lot of people walking their dogs. They would stop and, do their business there. Kind of near the hydrangeas, and that was about the only thing that I saw that was anything related. In the morning, the hydrangeas, they were still there. They were still reddish pink. So I said, all right, well, I didn't see anything last night, so I am going to set up a webcam. I'll be back later on today with the webcam. I'll actually do 2, set them up. So I went back to his office and was looking for the webcams that he wanted to use. And then he went back later that afternoon. And the guy was livid. He said, they did it again, Ollie. I said, what? He said, they changed out the plants again. I've been gone this afternoon. I went out to have lunch with my cousin, and we ended up going bowling. And when I got back, well, look. And all I could see that the hydrangeas, they weren't pink anymore. They were kind of purplish. And then I thought of something. And he went over and he took a sniff. And they smelled like dog pee. And he said, hold on a second here. Hold on 1 second. He set up the webcams. I said, but I don't think that's the problem. I need to go back to my office and get a different kit. I went back and he got his chemistry kit. Because what I noticed is actually that the color was a little bit different from one to the other. The one on the left, it was getting pretty toward blue. It's a little bit of pinkish purplishness to it. But the one on the right, I don't know, it was almost halfway between. And in the front, it was bluer than in the back. The flowers in the back were still, well, they were more red. And I pointed that to the guy. I said, yeah, I guess I hadn't really noticed that, but you're right. This one that they put in is kind of bluish on the front, but reddish on the back. I said, yeah. Let's take a look at that. And I went down there and he took several soil samples from around the hydrangea and marked them. And he got out his pH test kit. After he got all his results in, he said, okay, I want to show you something here. The hydrangea that's blue, the soil there is acidic. It's about a pH of 6. The one where it's partially blue and partially red, in the front, it's about a pH 6, but in the back, it's a pH of about 8. Not quite 8. I said, okay, what does that mean? He said, well, hydrangeas change color depending on the pH of the soil. I said, oh, I didn't realize that. I said, yeah, I learned about this yesterday when I was doing some research. And one of the things that can change the pH of the soil and is known to affect hydrangeas is dog pee. I said, what? I said, yeah, and those bushes smell like dog pee. I said, hold on, I'm not trying to understand what you're saying. What I'm saying, Ollie said, is that there isn't anybody stealing your plants, I think. I think what's happening is dogs are peeing on your hydrangeas. It's changing the chemistry of the soil. It's damaging your plants. It's changing the colors from red to blue because it's changing the pH of the soil. That could also explain why the plant doesn't look as good. It's not that they put in a sick plant, it's that the dog pee is making your hydrangeas sick. I said, oh no, that does make a lot more sense. Oh, and Margaret's not that fast. Oh, I feel so silly. How can we be sure? I said, well, I feel like in the garden center, I've seen some stuff that's supposed to counteract dog pee. You could put some of that down, see if the color comes back, see if the plant perks back up. Meanwhile, I'll leave the webcam set up and we'll record. So, what I think is going to happen is if you put down that stuff, your hydrangeas are going to turn back pink. And then we'll be able to watch and see if it's dogs or weird plant thefts. I said, all right, that sounds like a plan. I'll go this afternoon. Now, Ollie was going to go through this experiment, but he was pretty sure that he'd solved it, that it was dog pee. But I got the stuff, it's like a crystals you sprinkle on the ground. Within a couple of days, the plant perked back up, and the red color came back. So then once the color was red again, the guy called him, and I set up the webcam again, got it turned on, said, all right, now we watch. And they watched for several days, and didn't really see much of anything. And then, over the next couple of days, a bunch of dogs happened to use the bathroom right around the hydrangeas. And then, just like before, that next day or the day after, the plants turned blue. I said, well, Ollie, I was supposed to be the master gardener. I should have looked that up. Since we've talked, I've looked it up, and it's a very common thing. But thank you, Ollie. I'm really actually glad to know that Marguerite isn't doing weird garden pranks to me, because that would have been a whole escalation of our feud. Maybe I should go talk to her. Maybe I should try to make up with her. She's a really good gardener. I feel like she would have clued me in on this dog pee thing. I said, hey, I think that's a great idea. I actually ran into her and she seemed pretty nice, so maybe you two can patch things up. And I'm glad we got a solution for your flowers. They look great. And that was the case of Ollie and the colorful hydrangeas.